Hi, my name's Martin Bolton. I'm the head of department here in the Department of Industrial Design. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what industrial design is and then a bit about our department. Industrial design involves innovative problem solving, and a lot of that revolves around the development of new products. With that, it's developing products, developing solutions, and finding ways to solve a lot of the problems that we sort of have around us. A lot of the products that you look at, that you own, that you buy, that you aspire to own, a lot of those are involved or developed with the input of an industrial designer. Our course is the oldest course in South Africa to offer industrial design, and our course is the only course to offer BA Honours, Masters and a PhD in industrial design. What I'm going to take you through now is an example of a traditional product or industrial design process, and this is a project that was undertaken by our second year group, and this is one of our second year students. This is a project which engages or links with industry. It links to the Association of Rotor Molding South Africa, and it sees students developing an innovative product looking at rotational molding as the actual manufacturing process. The industrial design process starts with research, but before research there actually needs to be an identified need or a problem that needs to be solved. With the starting of the research process, it's looking at examples of what has been done, learning from precedent products, learning from solutions that have been attempted, and basically understanding what exists. From that, it starts with the innovative ideation process, which you can see involves a lot of ideation sketching, and it's a very diverse and innovative part of the industrial design process. Students undertake rough doodling, sketching, concept sketching, and you can see it's extremely free, and it uses drawing as the tool within that part of the process. Here's an example of some sort of hand-drawn sketches on paper, but in the department we're also engaging with digital sketching and also more recently with virtual reality sketching and virtual reality modeling. Through the process of generating these ideas is creating many different possible options and then trying to navigate an avenue of a solution which suits or could suit the intended need or solve that problem. As the process evolves even further, it starts shifting from a very diversive part of the process to a conversive process where the design starts getting refined down to a specific avenue that is then able to be suited into CAD modeling and design refinement. That's done a lot through technical sketching. You can see in the example here, it's not just looking at the form of the product, but it's looking at the internals of how it could work, how could it be made, what components would be needed, and how would those components work together to form the overall actual product. This example, it was a water-based product, and this specific student was looking at developing a sort of transportable water single-person vehicle. You can see on the board here we've got an example of a CAD render which skips through to the end of the process. As the design starts becoming a bit restrictive on paper, you start needing the accuracy that's within the computer environment, and then it starts shifting to the engineering modules or using the computer-based CAD software. CAD stands for Computer Aided Design, and with that you can create very specific components within the computer environment. With those models, you're able to then start getting a finalized resolved avenue, which in this case you can see was then taken through to a 3D printer and then 3D printed a physical form. Some of the other examples we have behind us utilizes a lot more developmental models in the creative process, with the sketching at the beginning, which you might use sketching on paper while at the same time creating three-dimensional foam models, sometimes three-dimensional cardboard models, basically any kind of material that can be used to create an iterative collection of models, where with each model more clarity, more refinement is able to be generated or found through the actual process. You can see this right at the end of the process. These are small scale models of what the intended outcome would be, and what's interesting with this process is that the students utilized rotational casting with actual two-part resin in creating the models, in the same way as industry would use to create the large-scale plastic products. This is the same process that is used to create the JoJo tanks and a lot of the plastic canoes. So on a small scale, the students are able to develop the product and yield a final outcome, and that final outcome is intended to the industrial manufacturing processes within our specific context. So you can see the final stage of the project here. It's a small scale mold, some molds made out of 3D printed plastic and some made out of cast silicone, but the intention of that mold is to simulate the actual manufacturing process of that product. And what's really great with a lot of the projects that we undertake in the department, it links directly with industry. So this kind of project can involve factory visits, visiting the industry partners, and the final prize giving for this project is then undertaken at the annual rotational molding conference. And that also allows for students to find gateways into the industries for which we prepare them to enter. A lot of the students that graduate from our course and a lot of the industries that we feed so with our alumni, it links to traditional product design, industrial design. Furniture design is a big area within South Africa, medical device design, and a lot of in-house sort of manufacturing companies. Over time, we're seeing more and more entrepreneurial students using what they learn here to start up their own businesses, to develop their own products, to protect their own designs, and oversee the actual production of their own creations. So it's a very diverse field for students to sort of learn this collection of different skills which can suit a very broad collection of avenues. Some of our graduates even end up in the sort of filmmaking space, prop design, sculptural space, but often the students, when they graduate at the end of third year and honours, the engagement with industry through their process here allows for them to already have set employment by the time they graduate. Industrial design positions itself between engineering and the arts. So it's a very creative space, but also a very technical and sort of critical space. If you find yourself enjoying beautiful objects, but at the same time trying to figure out how products work, if you find yourself taking apart broken appliances at home, then possibly industrial design could be a field for you.